news came out, market's getting a little bit hot. This position is now coming in right at 20 pips. It was just 20 pips in the money right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate a trailing stop on this guy and have it trail the market. Oh, it's kind of pulling back now. See if that pops back up over 20 again. Oh, there we go. So now we've got our trailing stop in. And the idea would be to have like a mini scalp, or if this continues on its way, then we will have an opportunity to do some trimming. So this 3,600 unit position, 3,687. If this goes the distance, we'll be out of the money 238. We'll call this minus 240. So we trimmed 711 off that. That trailing stop is working right now. See how it's just moving up. Once it gets to 40, then we'll have that trailing stop sitting at 30, and that's when we're going to pull the trim on this once this position gets all the way to 40. Before that, we're kind of just running a trailing stop and just letting it cook through the market. But the idea would be to have this go all the way to 40 pips in the money, which would allow us to trim 711 units off this position. Probably needs to go without saying, but this sell stop that we had in after the last trade did get picked up in this flash. So we were squeezing, finally picked it up. So moved that market, or moved that position up the market. Turned out good. So this is getting close to being 40 pips. So if it hits this 40 pip mark, remember we got the trailing stop over here cooking, we're going to trim this bottom position 711 units. So I'm going to set that up right now. And that's going to be 711. It looks like we're like knocking on the door, 39 and a half. So let's partially close this 711 units. So now we're waiting for this to just carry on. When it comes back and hits its trailing stop, that's when we're going to sell 1,726 units and then set up a bracket order. And that is so that we can maybe capture the pullback as it comes back down. But for now, we're just going to let this trailing stop just sit there and cook for a while, hopefully for a long while. Okay, so if this comes down and it picks up that stop order, which it looks like it might, this is where we're going to sell 1,726 units. And we're going to put a 10 pip take profit on that. So if that hits that trailing stop, we'll sell 1,726, put a 10 pip take profit, and then we'll set up a bracket order on the other side to bounce. Oh, so there we're in. Now we're going to sell that. So now we're looking for a 10 pip take profit. And if that happens, we're going to buy on this side 49.74. And that's going to be at the exact same price as this 37201. So 37201. That's where we're going to put a buy. And then we're going to do a buy stop if we're wrong 30 pips above that position, which would be 37600. And that would be for 6699. So that's our bracket order. So this is coming down. We're like 8 pips in the money, looking for that 10 pip. If this comes in, this take profit will activate, and then we'll hit this buy limit and we'll cancel this buy stop, which gives us like the 10 pips of clean trade on that pullback. Okay, so that picked that up. We had not only our profit going up, we got 10 pips on the way back down. We are now balanced on our hedge, so that worked out pretty good. So just to redo our hedge calculator, we still have the 5,801 up here, and now this position is 49.74. And then on the short side, we have the 46.69, the 31.29 position, and now this one down here is 29.76. So I must have hit the 4 instead of the 3. So this position is actually 1 unit too many. So because it's pretty close to break even, I'm just going to close off 1 unit. So now that position is 49.73 and our hedge is balanced. Just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page. Just a quick recap. This position down here was pending in the last video. Market came up, I squoze it, it picked up this position. So now we have 4,669 units. Below that, 3,129 units, and below that, 2,976. That's our whole hedge on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, the long side, we have 4,973 units now and 5,801. That was after we put a trailing stop on this guy. He ran up, hit our 40 pip target. The trailing stop is at 30. We trimmed this guy down here. I think it was 711 units. Let's just double check that. Yep, 711 units. So he got trimmed and it continued to move just a little bit, and then it reversed, came back and hit our stop order, which took it out. We then sold on this side 1,726 units for a 10 pip take profit. That happened when that hit the take profit. We simultaneously bought back the 4,973 units to balance a hedge. Actually, we bought back 4,974 units. We were 1 unit off. I sold 1 unit just for video purposes because I know you guys like the details. It is in the details. I think it's time to hop in to the comment section. Let's jump over here, see what we've got. One guy wrote, kudos on taking the time to make these videos. No problem. It's kind of fun. I enjoy it. Where did you learn about this strategy? I know this might seem a little bit crazy, but I think I dreamed it up all by myself. Not the hedging, how to trim the hedge and how to work the hedge. I don't know anyone else or have seen other videos that are doing this type of strategy. Maybe there are. I can imagine in the vast world, I'm the only one that's doing this. I might just be the only one that has made a video around it. So, in answer to the second question, could you point me in the direction where I could dive in further? I mean, I guess go watch more of the videos on this channel, but other than that, I don't have any place to send you. Okay, this one is an interesting comment for me. One guy wrote, the more time you dedicate to something, the harder your bias for that thing becomes. I would say that's true. You become too emotional when someone provides arguments about your system. I would also say that's true. Me personally, I thought it was genius, and since I started using it, I've had a 60% return on my small account. Okay, so just to highlight that, he's had a 60% return on his small account. But after I talked with other trading buddies who are very smart, I realized your system, in fact, doesn't provide anything useful other than the 60% return. Imagine a market that only and only went up and you sold and hedged and trimmed. You would never win because hedging doesn't provide any edge. All right, buddy, you had a 60% return. And then you had a couple smart buddies tell you it was bad. Okay. And then you said, if imagine a market going straight up and all you did is trimmed and trimmed and blah, blah, blah. The problem with it is you took completely out trading. All you're moving is just moving chess pieces on the board. You've got to, I think this guy wrote down here, yeah, this guy wrote right down here. It was said multiple times before, you still need clean trades without activating the hedge. We literally just watched one happen. Trailing stop went up. We trimmed. It continued to go up. We grabbed a few pips there. It came back, hit our trailing stop. We then reversed our position and sold there for a 10 pip take profit. Then closed that and balanced the hedge. You have to be creative, whether you're a scalper or a swing trader or whatever kind of trader you are, trade, and hedging becomes a money management system. Don't forget you have to have clean trades. I would say up here, you're not wrong on any of this stuff, other than listening to a couple very smart buddies who told you that a 60% return was no good. I don't know very many traders that wouldn't take a 60% return on day trading. Seems like a pretty solid return to me.